Donkey Kong has returned again. The 2010 platformer is back with its 4th version, and this has to be the most complete. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is honestly one of the most frustrating, addicting, and most amazing platformers I've played. Originally released 16 years ago on the Wii, Donkey Kong Returns sold a total of 6.53 million units with heavy success and has been a fan favourite ever since, earning it a HD upgrade on the 3DS, which sold a further 2.94 million units and really cemented the game in the hearts of many Nintendo fans. We later saw a sequel for this game with Tropical Freeze, and lots of upgrades we have seen in Tropical Freeze have now made their way to the first game, but more on that later. At the start of 2025, we saw a 3rd version on the Switch 1, which sold another million units, but did have a few bugs. However, the game itself is one of the most amazing you'll play, with lively visuals, creative boss fights, and an all-round addicting experience. And although it will frustrate you, as it's far more difficult and challenging than the likes of Kirby and Mario, you will love it. The game offers plenty of replayability, with many collectibles throughout, and bonus levels you can buy through Cranky Kong's shop. All this creates a lasting impression on you wanting to beat the game in its entirety, as it will push you to your limits and really test your patience. The HD cannot be faulted too, as this game looks stunning, and this is enhanced by the 4th version this week on the Switch 2, which offers far superior loading times, and some levels you can load up and then reload it up before the Switch 1 version had even loaded up one level. The bugs we saw in the Switch 1 version have now been fixed, with a far more impressive lighting package on the overall quality of the game. Something highlighted most on Donkey Kong's fur, who himself looks far more brighter than before, which really adds to the game, especially with its vibrant visuals. One of my favourite characters, Dixie Kong, has also been added to Country Returns with the same mechanics and animations we see from her in Tropical Freeze, and just like Tropical Freeze, the barrel will switch between her and Diddy Kong, offering optional play. The Switch 2 version feels like a complete package, and it's why updates like this really do make a difference, as you can take an already great game and just keep adding minor improvements from the lessons you've learned over the years, and it begins to make the game a perfect experience. Local multiplayer can now be enjoyed via game share instead of just on one screen, although for me, something about each of you playing with a controller on the same screen adds a fun element to these platformers which you don't really get on separate switches. Over the past few days, I've been making my way through the game, and having only ever got to World 3 before, I am now nearly on World 7 and plan to complete the game later today or throughout the weekend. Something I'm sure will offer an extremely rewarding experience after the amount of time and heartache I've endured to get to this point of the game. I'm a huge fan of Donkey Kong, and I've honestly not been able to put this game down since picking it up earlier in the week with the new update, and I highly recommend you do so too. Even if you would be a returning player, I think you'll massively appreciate the improvements, and if you're a big fan of Dixie Kong, then she'll be an added bonus to your enjoyment of this challenging platformer. I really hope Nintendo brings some more content-filled free upgrades to these games, as it's a shame to see how much new content they stick behind these paid upgrades. These type of updates, which improve the quality but also add additional content, really bring out the enjoyment to fans and encourage them a lot more to play your games than if you have to pay a further £10 to £20 in some cases. I'm looking at you, Mario Wonder. So I'd like to thank you for watching today's video. Let me know if you've played Country Returns before in the comments, and did you enjoy it? Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.